Hey guys, Dwindling Elves here, and today I've got another game with my Dark Elves versus a Wood Elf opponent. So this is at 2,500 points, and I'm using my MSU Shoot You Up and Try to Avoid Combat list. So for my magic, I've got my level 4 of Shadow, and I rolled up Miasma, Withering, Pit of Shades, and Mind Razor. I didn't get Enfeebling, and I don't really care for Pit of Shades. Yeah, you could drop a tree man down a hole, but it's not the type of spell that I like using. And then, of course, I've got my level 2 Warlocks who come with Soul Blight and Doombolt. And if you guys saw my previous game, you know I'm very, very high on this unit. They are amazing for 125 points. Then my opponent, I know he's playing Wood Elves, but we decided since Dark Elves got all the access to all the lores, we figured it would be fair that Wood Elves would get access to all the lores because I imagine when their new book comes out, it's going to be the same. So he got Miasma, Enfeebling, Withering, and Mind Razor. So here's the deployment. So he has on the top left a unit of 23 archers with Banner Musician. In front of them, he's got a unit of 8 Screening Dryads, then 6 Treekin, a unit of 12 archers with Standard of Discipline, Banner Musician, and in there he's got his level 4, and she has the magic ability that lets them transport from one forest to another in any time during the movement phase. And the BSB is in there as well, and he's got the Hail of Doom arrow. Then 6 more Treekin, a tree man behind the building, and 8 Dryads, and then there's a piece of impassable terrain, and there's another tree man hiding behind that. He's a bit difficult to see right now, and on the other side he's got an eagle. So all these pieces of area terrain that you're seeing on the board are actually count as forests. We didn't have a lot of terrain to use today or this day, so we just used these to represent forests. So then on my side, on my left, I have a unit of 5 fast cav with repeated crossbows and shields. Then I have my 3 units of shades. He didn't leave me any room to deploy behind his line, so I figured I would overload one flank, stay in the forest, and try to outshoot his shooting before he gets to me. So I've got a unit of 8 without any upgrades in the forest on the left. Next to them, I've got a unit of 6 with 2 hand weapons with crossbows, and then the other unit is a unit of 6 with great weapons. Then behind them, I've got my level 2 warlocks, a repeater bolt thrower, then 26. I know there's 28 there, but there's actually 26 in the list. Blackguard with Banner Musician and Standard of Discipline, so their leadership 10 stubborn. Then 14 crossbowmen. Behind them, I've got my level 4 mage on a Dark Pegasus, and she's got the Dispel Scroll and the Cloak of Shadows, so she's got a 3-up armor and a 3-up ward and against all shooting and magical attacks. Then I've got 9 cold ones, and in there I've got the BSB. So the BSB is the slightly painted cold one in the front left. Then the BSB's got a halberd and a 1-up rerollable armor save. Another unit of 14 crossbows with Banner Musician, and then another repeater bolt thrower. And then all the way on my right, I have another unit of 5 fast cav with repeater crossbows. So I get first turn, and I also get Vanguard. So this is my Vanguard move. So I've just moved the Warlocks up a bit, and I move my fast cav up on this side, and I move my fast cav up on that side, so I can shoot at the eagle without counting as it being moved on my turn. So I get the roll for first turn, and I move my Warlocks up within 18 inches of those Dryads because I want to Doombolt them and get them out of the way. I move my fast cav up all the way up to shoot at his large unit of archers. I'm not quite sure why I did that. I was kind of reckless with these guys. But yeah. And then I move my archers up to get within range. Both crossbow units, I move them up to get within range of his lines. And that's another picture of that. So yeah, the crossbows just move a couple inches forward so they can actually shoot at stuff for turn 1. And then I get a pretty good magic phase off. So he stops Doombolt, so I'm unable to get rid of those Dryads. But I am worried about this giant unit. So I Soul Blight them. So the -1 strength and toughness, which would help when I shoot them. And then I also Miasma, I do a big version of Miasma, and I roll a 6, so they are now movement 2, weapon skill 1, ballistic skill 1, initiative 2. They're very, very weak. So then in the shooting phase, I thought that I could shoot at his unit of archers with my shades because Part of the unit is not covered by the Dryads, but he argued that the Dryads are in front of 50% of the units covered, and I guess that makes sense. So my shooting actually did very, very little. I started shooting at these guys, but I needed like 6s and 7s to hit. So that was kind of a waste. And before I realized it, I'd shot like 2 or 3 units at these guys, and I realized that I should probably been better off shooting a small unit in the center. And then a little too late, I start shooting at them, and I take 4 wounds off that unit. So my first turn, a bit of a mishap, but whatever. And then shooting over here, I take 2 wounds off the eagle. So Wood Elf turn 1. So he moves up as quickly as possible with his 2 units of Treekin, as well as his Dryads. And he repositions his 2 archers unit to shoot at my fast cav. He's going to wipe them off the board. And he moves his Treekin up as well. Now, I really like this. So his Tree Man is, I think, a 7-inch charge away from me, or from my cold one. So I need to roll a 7 on Swift Stride. And if I end up breaking him, I get an easy overrun into the flank of that Treekin unit. So I'm really, really liking that. I also like that his Treekins appear to be coming after my Shades as opposed to my regular crossbows. And I like that as well because my Shades are very, very fast. They can run away 10 inches and still shoot at him, whereas my crossbows can only move 2.5 inches backwards and still shoot, or they can move 5 inches backwards. I mean, so I really like that. And then, yeah, so on the other side, his Dryads come up, and as does his Tree Man. So in his shooting phase, yep, he kills 4 guys between his 2 units, but I end up keeping 1, and he passes his panic test. Oh, and his magic does nothing. So Dark Elf's turn 2. So I see the charge with the cold ones into the Tree Man, and I take it. If I get a decent magic phase, maybe I can, Soul Blight him or Wither him, or, maybe Mind Razor myself. But I'm liking that, and I don't know if I'll kill him right away, but I like my odds there. I move the rest of my skirmishing units, all 3 units of Shades, backwards. I'm walking away from his guys. I move the Warlocks back. I'm playing defensive. I run around with my lone fast guy on top, and he's just gonna take some pot shots. I'm just trying to preserve his points, and if he wastes another turn shooting at him, it means that he's not shooting at a bigger unit. But he's preserving 100 points right now, which is nice. And then on this side, I move back with my crossbowmen and my fast cav on the top right, just dance around the Tree Man. I'm hoping to bait him. If his Tree Man turns around and tries to follow them, or stays around to shoot at them, it means he's not coming towards my lines. So that's what I'm hoping to do there. So then in the magic phase, I have 4 dice, he has 3, and I throw all 4 dice at Withering, and it goes off with Irresistible Force, and I reduce his toughness by 2. So now his Tree Man goes from toughness 6 to toughness 4, and I really like my odds, because all my guys, my BSB is strength 5, but all my other knights, strength 6, so they're wounding on 2s, and they're re-rolling 1s. So I really, really like this combat here. So for the rest of my turn, my Shades and all my crossbows shoot at the Dryads at the top left, and I take them down from 7 to 5, so that helps a lot. So that unit is no longer scary. I'm not worried about it. I think if he does send him into any of my Shade units, I should be able to kill him before he attacks me. So I'm feeling good about that. And then in combat, so I end up doing 5 wounds to the Tree Man. Ah, so close. So close. He does 1 wound back to me, but, he's stubborn. I think 9 rerollable, so he sticks. The good thing is, his Treekin to the immediate left of the Tree Man cannot see my cold ones. They're out of line of sight. So that's a very, very good thing, and I don't have to worry about getting flank charge there. So Wood Elf turn 2. He keeps running straight towards my Shades, which, again, I really enjoy. It means that I can just keep running away from him. Then he moves his Eagle over, and he marches a big unit of archers up, and his small unit of archers is going to take shots at my remaining fast cav guy, and actually fail to wound him. If I don't go back to that, but he's still alive. Over here, he walks up as quickly as possible as well, so he's in a good position to charge my chaff on this side, or my crossbows and the bolt thrower. But yeah, then in the magic phase, he does a big miasma on this unit of crossbows and drops their weapon skill, ballistic skill, movement, and initiative by 1. But I'm okay with that. And when we go to combat, I take the last wound off of the tree man. And then now I have a choice. I can reform. I can reform in many different directions. I could go after his bunker unit with all those points in the forest, but I know he's gonna have that teleport thing. So I figured that was a waste of time. So I have a choice between turning right or left, and I figured the 2 treekin units are probably worth more points, and I'm probably saving more points than going after the other tree man and the dryads in the forest. They're both easy flank charges, so I go after the big points on the left side. And Dark Elf turn 3. So that's what I do. I charge my cold ones in, and I keep running away and keep backing up with all of my shades, as well as my warlocks. And then on this side, I back away with my archers as well. I'm just going to keep shooting at him, but I forget to move my level 4 on Pegasus, and it's an easy charge for his dryads next turn, and I completely forgot about it. By the time I realized it, I think it was like past the magic phase, we'd gone on to combat, and obviously I didn't want to redo that. So in the magic phase, I get Soul Blight off on the Treekin, and he lets it through. And then I use 2 dice to miasma the movement of his other Treekin, and I drop it by 2, but I get Irresistible Force on it. And I take a wound on my level 4, and I take a wound on my Warlocks. In the shooting phase, I take out the Eagle over here. And the rest of my shooting puts 2 wounds on these guys. I mean, it's a tough matchup for me to shoot these guys. They're toughness 5, they have 4 up armor saves and 5 up ward saves. That's very, very difficult to take wounds off with strength 3 shooting, but I managed to get 2. In the combat phase, as expected, I do 2 wounds to him. He does none to me because he's down to strength 4. So I did 6 wounds. I killed 2 guys outright. He's on insane courage, and he doesn't hold, and I am able to run him down. And that puts me in a great position again. So I'm right in the middle of all his guys with my Cold One Knights. I'm really liking what Cold One Knights are doing for me this game. So Wood Elf turn 3. Yeah, so as expected, I goofed and I forgot to move my mage last turn, and he sees the easy charge, so I have no choice but to flee. But I have a pretty safe charge. There's no way I can run off the board, so I flee. Then his tree man charges my my crossbows, and I flee again. Both those units fail their redirect, so they're stuck there in the open. And then on the left side of the board, this is what it looks like. He turns his he reforms his Treekin. He turns his Dryads around to prevent me from charging anything else with my Cold Ones, and he turns all his shooting to look at my Cold Ones, and he's going to have something like 30 Strength 4 shots at short range, hitting on like 3s, wounding on 3s, and then I still got a 3 up armor save, so he's going to do a lot of damage to me in his next shooting phase. In the magic phase, he enfeeblings my Blackguard, and they go down to strength 2, so now they're only strength 3 in combat. But I'm okay with that because it remains in play, so if I do get him in the combat, I can always dispel it. And then the shooting phase, I feel a little bit lucky here. He only killed 5 Cold Ones. I don't know what the odds are. He did release his Hail of Doom arrow and only took off 1 guy. But, these guys have performed very well for me, and I don't need all 9 or 10 of them to mop up what I need to mop up on this side of the board, so that's okay. So, Dark Elves turn 4. So, I charge my Blackguard into his Treekin, and he holds. It was an easy charge. And then I move up all my other shooting units. Oh, and I also charge the Cold Ones into the Dryads, and that's an automatic charge. So I move up all the rest of my shooting units to shoot at his bunker in the forest. And he sees this coming, so at the end of the movement phase, he teleports them out of that forest and into the other forest. Ah, crap. So that, that's not going to end up working out for me, so I'm going to have to shoot at his other unit of archers, but they are gonna have most of them are gonna be like -2 to hit just because I'm shooting through terrain or things like that. The good news is both my Pegasus and my unit of crossbows on the bottom rally, and yeah, so there's another picture of that. And in the magic phase, I just I think I have 5 dice. I throw all 5 dice at Mind Razor. I don't care about Enfeebling Foe, and I get Mind Razor off on these guys. So now they're gonna be Strength 9. Hitting first, I think they're just gonna completely open up these Treekin. My shooting is actually relatively effective, despite the fact that I couldn't get my primary target. The rest of my shooting is able to kill, I think, about half of these guys. I think I do probably 10 wounds to these guys, but they pass their panic test. In combat, as expected, I kill 3 of his guys, so I do 9 wounds to him. He comes back and kills 5 of mine. But I have a charge, 2 ranks, a banner, extra kills, so he's on insane courage. And he breaks, and I chase him down, and I catch him. And my cold ones, make short work of those Dryads in front of them, and I choose to reform them looking the other way, because I want to send them after his bunker in the last 2 turns. And I'm not really worried about his archers, although I didn't, yeah. So, what else turn 4? He makes the easy charge with his Dryads into my archers. I stand and shoot at him, and I think I kill 1 on the way in. And his tree man fails his charge again and does not get in, so I think that means my crossbows have a decent chance of fighting. I've got 14 attacks, he's only got 10, so we'll see what happens there. And then on the top of the screen, this move also surprised me. He charges his bunker into the rear of my warlocks. So I'm going to have 8 attacks that strike first at strength 4, and I've got poison, and I've got rerolls to hit, and I've got reroll ones to wound. So I feel okay about that. I mean, he's going to be up 4 combat res with a charge, a rear. Oh no, 5 combat res. With, 2 banners, a charge, and a rear. But I feel okay. I think I can kill enough of his guys to maybe win that combat, or at least take a break test on like a 7 instead of like a 2. And on this side, this also surprised me. He charges his archer unit into the rear of my Cold One Knights, and I guess in retrospect this makes sense. He's got a banner, a charge, and a rear, so he starts at 4, and he might be, if he does 1 or 2 wounds, he's definitely got me beat. So, yeah, it surprised me, but I guess it does make sense. In this combat, his magic phase does nothing again, and in this combat, I kill none of him, he kills 2 of me, and I'm steadfast and I stick. Over here, yeah, so my cold ones go to town. I think I killed 5 or 6 of his guys, and then he attacks back and does nothing to me. And I've got 2 standards, he's got a charge in the rear. I think I end up winning, but he's steadfast and he sticks. And then over here, my warlocks strike first, and I kill 4 of his guys. He does 1 wound to me, and he wins combat, but I break, and I'm supposed to run away, but this is where we called it. Because, so yeah, my opponent didn't want to keep playing, and he just called it and gave me the game. Because I was going to wipe out, I think he would have taken my crossbows on my bottom right, and I would have taken his archers, and then I would have also shot everything into this unit, this bunker, which would have had to either sit there or pursue me. They're in a real, and I think I had 40 or 50 crossbow shots that could take out the last 4 or 5 guys in this unit. So we decided to call it. So it was a victory for me. I thought this was a tough matchup in terms of shooting. So I think I actually won the game, not really based on my shooting or evasion, but my combat ability. I had better luck with magic than he did, so my shadow magic and my soul blight came in exactly when I needed it to. I was able to get that tree men down to toughness 4. I was able to soul blight the treekin to make easy work of them. So yeah, the combat blocks won it for me, and I think Cold One Knights were really what saved me here. Having a 2-up armor save is very, very nice, and also being mounted means I can't be thunderstomped or stomped by his big monster. So if his tree man fluffs his attacks, he doesn't get, D6 automatic hits that kill like 3 or 4 guys guaranteed each turn. So yeah, I really like the cold ones, and they're also faster than his big monsters. So that means I can get the charge off on him. Yeah, my magic was really, really good for me. Laura Shadow was awesome. I mean, my entire plan with Laura Shadow is use Withering to draw people's toughness, or use Soul Blight to draw people's toughness, and then shoot them to death with 100 Strength 3 shots. That really didn't work for me this game. I used the Withering, but more to support my combats and less to support my shooting. But yeah, my magic really performed well for me, and I really like Lore Shadow in this list. And yeah, what can I say about Warlocks? I think these guys are really, really good. The fact that they're level 2s is almost a bonus, because at 25 points apiece, they have 2 attacks at strength 4 with always strikes first. They're fast cav, they're mounted, and they have a 4 board save. Essentially, they're Phoenix Guard on horses. For an extra 10 points, you can mount their mounted Phoenix Guard, but they're also level 2s who know 2 really, really good spells. So, like, I think even at 25 points apiece without being mages, they're pretty solid fast cav. Then if you throw in the fact that they're level 2 and they have great spells and they're way cheaper than equipping an actual level 2, yeah, they're amazing. I'd be really surprised to actually see any level 2s on the battlefield anymore in a Dark Elf army, unless people, run the Council of Light, or they need a level 2 who's got metal to take care of, 1-up armor saves. But I really like these Warlocks, and I don't ever see myself running a level 2. These guys have replaced level 2s in my book. So, yeah, I thought it was a good game. It really demonstrated my abilities to run away and shoot, and then to counter charge when I needed to, and great magic support. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it.